Along with what we call empty space due to its continuity and extension, there are quantum fields, agitations, and relative movements. The laws of physics have very little of laws if we follow the definition of what is meant by law. They have a lot of statistics. They usually work by statistics. In The Myth of Sisyphus, the philosopher Albert Camus writes, "There is only one truly philosophical problem: suicide. Knowing if in the end, all our analyses end up convincing us that life is worth living would be a gift for us, an achievement of human thought." The copy theory is a theory based entirely on science, confirmed by all physical experiences and by the total sovereignty of the universe, untouchable by the relativity of our physical concepts. There is only one possible coherent, rational, logical, scientific interpretation of reality. The laws of physics never change, are always the same, so the universe is infinite and eternal, and we are also eternal through perfect physical copies. This understanding reveals in a way our role in the universe. Newton declared that space and time were absolute and immutable entities that provided the universe with a rigid and constant backdrop. From the point of view of a soccer ball, it is the goalkeeper who approaches at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Physically, this point of view is as correct as the opposite. Because space is continuous, all points of view are correct when it comes to motion. The speed of an object can only be specified relative to another object. Because space is continuous, it makes no sense to speak of velocity in relation to empty space. Because space is continuous, every situation of movement is always also a perfect situation of rest. Even if the universe were infinite and empty without any amounts of matter and contained only a bucket of water spinning, Newton's bucket experiment, the water would rise up the walls of the bucket because the continuous, tense, empty space presents forces, interacts, and has the potential to be matter. If you rotated through space and the universe was infinite and empty without having matter, your arms and legs would tend to open because continuous, tense space presents forces, interacts, and has the ability to be matter. When we are moving in a straight line at constant speed with respect to neighboring objects, we have no physical ability to feel this movement. If we consider matter and energy to be something for us, empty, continuous, tense space also has to be considered as something because it has all the potential to be matter and energy. The rotational motion always gives rise to a force because the concepts of motion, force, and matter are identical and have the same physical nature. The most basic and important constructor concept of physics is the concept of movement. Because empty space is continuous, all movements through space are always only relative. There is no absolute motion through space in the universe. Many attempts have been made in order to provide a reference for the definition of absolute motion through space. By presenting a related force, the accelerated motion came to be interpreted as being absolute, leading to the notion of absolute space of absolute local measures. The movement of what is light led to the emergence of the idea of the luminiferous ether, which would be the medium through which light travels. Physicists and thinkers at the time had difficulty accepting that light could travel through empty space. They did not take into account the continuity and extension of empty space, which makes it a tense medium, therefore subject to oscillations like light. Attempts to find a medium other than space that would fill space proved to be baseless and did not correspond to reality. The measurements of space and time always depend on the observer who measures them. Thanks for watching. Watch my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and give me a like if you enjoyed it.